Mollymauk Tealeaf, The Philosophy of the Blank Slate. To understand the Mighty Nein, you must understand the man who began his life at the end of a shovel. Most of the heroes we've discussed, Caleb, Bo, Fjord, are defined by the weight of their memories. But Mollymauk Tealeaf is defined by the absolute absence of them. He didn't have a childhood, a family, or a legacy. He woke up in a shallow grave with no name and no past, a hollow shell that once belonged to a man named Lucien. But instead of letting that void consume him, Molly did something radical. He decided that the void was a gift, the rejection of the ghost. Molly is the ultimate antithesis to the fugitive archetype. While the others are running from ghosts, Molly is a ghost who refused to haunt himself. He represents the terrifying, beautiful freedom of starting over. By choosing to be Mollymauk, a flamboyant, hedonistic, and fiercely kind circus performer, he proved that we are not the sum of our traumas. He famously said, "I have no memory of the man who lived in this body before me, and I owe him nothing." This wasn't just a personal choice, it was a silent invitation to everyone else in the Mighty Nein to stop paying debts to their own pasts. The philosophy of the empty and the joy, Molly's depth lies in his weaponized empathy. He carried 2 scimitars and a deck of tarot cards, but his real power was his perspective. In a world of rigid empires and ancient gods, Molly worshipped the now. He understood that because life is fundamentally absurd and often cruel, the only logical response is to be unfailingly kind and wildly colorful. He was the one who taught Beauregard that she didn't have to be a victim of her father's ambition. He was the one who looked at Caleb's self-loathing and countered it with a simple, "I like you, you're interesting." The moral North Star. His greatest contribution to the group was his creed: leave it better than you found it. Molly was the needle that slowly pulled their moral compass toward heroism. He didn't lecture them on good and evil. He showed them that the world is a better place when you choose to add beauty to it instead of more pain. He was the man who would give his last gold piece to a stranger just to see them smile, not because it was right, but because it made the moment better. The Eternity Echo. Even in this first season, before the shadows of his past as Lucien begin to resurface, Molly acts as the group's spiritual anchor. He is the personification of the idea that we are all under construction. Without Mollymauk, the Mighty Nein would have remained a group of cold, calculated survivors. He was the warmth that melted their defenses. He taught them that while we cannot control the fires that burn us, we can choose what we build from the ash. So, how did a band of fugitives become the heroes of Exandria? It wasn't because they stopped being broken. Caleb still smelled the smoke. Bo still struggled with authority. Fjord still carried the scars of the sea. They became heroes because they stopped trying to fix themselves in isolation and started healing together. They realized that their broken pieces were the only parts that could lock together to form something strong. The Mighty Nein didn't save the world because they were destined to. They saved the world because they finally found something worth coming home to. And in a world that often feels like it's burning, perhaps that's the greatest mystery and the greatest victory of all.